This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. You're tuned into the TCSL podcast with Big Z in-house. We got Ivan from the Tape Never Lies and JC, Dynasty Fantasy Football, his league champion. There, you got your credit.
That's right. Oh, you won? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I took out Big Z to take the win.
Oh, that's right. You guys are going against each other. Oh, you didn't mention this yesterday, Jose.
You know why I didn't mention it yesterday? Because
you didn't want me to say anything, did you?
No. I didn't even change my lineup. We made a gentleman's agreement and we split the pot.
Oh, okay. Well,
so we're both winners.
It's bragging rights. It's
I didn't even set up my lineup. I didn't even look at it because I was like, I already won money. I don't care.
Well, I'm pretty sure JC's lineup was pretty because you were struggling there.
My team was struggling during that last game, but definitely.
Yeah, my team was not that great either. I mean, I still had Barkley and C-Mac and Stafford and Purdy, who were basically all my points. But I was missing Devontae Adams, I was missing Sam Laporta and a bunch of other guys who are on IR. But it's nice to pull out a win and a dub. And I basically said, because I bought some of the equipment for the podcast and stuff like that for the live event, I was like, listen, if we split the pot, that covers what I paid for the equipment. I'm like, I'm good with splitting the pot. Just so I can get the money to pay for because if I lose, then I don't get the money to pay off the equipment. So it's like gentlemanly wager to just cover all costs all the way around.
Gentleman's agreement, and everyone wins. So podcast gets some money, JC gets recouped. It was a win for everybody, and then he ends up with the last pick of the draft, and I pick right before him. So I just like to say the guy that
that's the worst thing.
Yeah, the guy that in the group was made fun of for all his picks looks a little bit better now, especially the guy who drafted Monangai, my guy, is on my team. They're like, you took him too high. I don't give a fuck. He's going to be one in the future. But yeah, okay, let's get back into it. This is episode 281, a date night with the pack. This is 606 Media, your ultimate source for all things Chicago. Don't forget to swing by 606media.com. to snag your official podcast t-shirt and exclusive for the Love of Sports merchandise line. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, and what are we on today? Twitch, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and remember to support us with a nice comment or 5-star review on your favorite podcast app. And while you're at 66 Media, you can check out the rest of the lineup, which is in Podscape with myself, Big Z. No Water on the Weekend with Steven and Sean. Got a couple podcasts on there. Go ahead and check this out after you're done watching this. So strap in. Let's get ready for an unforgettable ride through the best of Chicago sports culture and beyond. Let's get started. The Bears. Oh my God, what a game this past Sunday. They ended up the regular season with a 19-16 loss to the Detroit Lions. But here's a twist. It really didn't hurt them in the standings. They still ended up with the number 2 seed. But it was an ugly game, not scoring for 3 quarters. 69 yards total in the first half. But then in the fourth quarter, it's like, hurry up. I mean, we've all been there. Hurry up and wait, right, guys? You're already dressed on the couch, shoes are on, you already got a beer in your hand, and you're already waiting, but you were told to hurry up. If you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, you guys.
That's just the military wrapped up in one little, phrase.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Williams also did break the single season passing record, surpassing Eric Kramer. I was one of my quarterbacks back in the day. It lasted for 30 years, that record. And Caleb broke it with he was shy of the 4,000 benchmark that we were looking for. Also, rookie tight end Colson Loveland led the team with 10 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. The first rookie tight end to lead the Bears in receiving. I think since who was it? I don't want to say was it Ditka 61? I was thinking of who was the other one?
Oh, the other rookie. It was Willie Gault.
Gault, yes, yeah, because I was thinking Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I mean, despite the loss, Chicago is set. We'll end up on 11-6, number 2 seeding in the NFC. We'll face the Green Bay Packers at home at Soldier Field in the wild card round. It is a 7:00, 7:20 kickoff. It's going to be on Amazon Prime, and we'll be again hosting at Casa Humilde, who's been treating us great these last month and a half that we've been there. It might be the official home pretty soon, as soon as we secure some paperwork with them. But again, it was a great nerve-wracking game. I just wish that they would listen and run the ball a little bit more consistently in the first half. Stop going away from it. And it just feels like the protege was outsmarted by his teacher. That's 2 games.
JC, do you want to say?
Yeah, he put 52 on us, and then he just literally didn't let us score.
I mean, I'm gonna say this. What, in my personal opinion, this was Ben Johnson's mistake. All right, we should have taken the field goal before halftime, and then this wouldn't be an issue. We would have gone to overtime and call it a day. You know what? This is 2 or 3 weeks in a row that Ben Johnson has tried to get too cute and be this offensive guru, right? The pass between Cole Kmet's legs for a turnover on 4th down in the red zone against the Packers. And now here we are, not taking the points in a game with playoff potential. Granted, like, we're still the number 2 seed, but had the Eagles won, we would have gotten knocked down. Like, at some point, Ben Johnson needs to learn from his mistakes and take the points. Stop. Like, I understand you're up 20 points and you want to be cute and everything. Great. All right. You want to have some fun when you're up. Great. You're not up. This is like halftime. You're down by 13. Take the freaking points.
Yeah, they would have been tied. Yeah, they would have been tied with the field goal at the end going into overtime. And maybe they don't go for a field goal because they are at Soldier Field and you're trying to play spoiler, the Detroit Lions are, and they're going to go for that touchdown. And maybe we make a stop, but yesterday we couldn't stop a wet fart from getting out. All right, that defense was horrendous. And what happened to Stevenson? That was my pick to click yesterday. He wasn't even on the field. Healthy scratch? What is that? Like, he was not there.
I don't know about the Stevenson thing, but I agree with what JC is saying, and I'd go a little bit further as to say that not only these past few weeks has he done this, but he's done this quite often throughout the year. I mean, short yardage situations, critical moments. We already seen the red zone, mistakes that he's made. Taking the points was necessary because you knew it was going to be a dogfight. You knew it was going to be grinded out. You knew we all had a feeling like the Bears are going to take their shot, right? We were hoping it would be earlier in the third, but regardless, they took a shot. They got it tied. Again, I feel like at that moment that they got the ball back when it was tied 16-16, you need to control the clock. You need to run the ball. It's a tie game. Run the football. The first thing they do is a RPO pass to Luther Burden. I think was it a little too hot for Luther? Yeah, but it's called a hot route. It's called a hot route. RPO. You see it. You pull it. You throw it. Boom. It was there. It was there. It was there. But again, I just feel like in that situation, you didn't have to go out and start throwing the ball. You had all the control, all the momentum, and it reminded me of that play JC mentioned where the Cole Kmet snap between his legs over the head of Monangai. You killed all the momentum you had going into that drive. You really did. Get your players going, slow everything down. You have control of the game, control of the clock with an opportunity to win. And they go 3 and out. Like that shit, it's not something that I think will hopefully not continue to carry over because I think Ben Johnson not only does a good job of assessing his players, but I'm sure in the offseason he's going to do a deep dive into himself. You know what I mean? So I think that there will be some adjustments with him. But again, there's times where I feel like he needs to be they need to be a bully. They need to be a hammer. I say it over and over and over again. And then there are times where you just need to say, okay, let's settle here, kick the field goal, get the points, we get the ball back at the half. You know what I mean? And then again, you get the ball back at the half, you do nothing. The slow starts with this offense, it's like if you have a game like this, and I have mentioned this throughout the year, you have a game like this in the playoffs, or if you had a game like this against one of the top teams in the league. You start out slow and you get down and your offense struggles and your defense can't stop anybody, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And that's what the Bears have been doing the past few games is getting into trouble, not starting off early and having to pull off these heroics late in the game. And that shit it's just not sustainable enough to say, hey, if we play like this, we could win in the fourth quarter of every game going into no. You got to be able to establish some type of a rhythm, some type of control of the clock, control of field position. They just didn't. It was like JC said, I think it was the worst Ben Johnson performance to date. Was he outcoached? Maybe a little, but I think Dan Campbell had his flaws too.
Well, Dan Campbell does have his flaws, and I'm looking back at the 52-21 loss to the Lions early in the year that made them 0-2. The Bears went 7-7-0-7 as far as scoring, but they gave up 14, 14, 10, and 14. So the defense was getting lit up back at that point. We took that ass whooping. We looked at it and said, well, it's early. The Bears we're not there yet. Ben Johnson had said after that, we're going to play our best football in December. I need them playing their best football in January and into February if we get into the Super Bowl, right? But the defense has been decimated with injuries, and it's showing, right? Well, we saw C.J. Gardner cannot guard in man. We saw him getting burnt the entire time. I think I saw a stat that Nation Wright gives the most yards up. It was crazy. But again, for us to score 21 points on our first meeting and then only score 16 or whatever it was, 16. That's a problem. That's a problem. How do we regress against a divisional foe and not get those points early and not recognizing, hey, we're down 13, we're in the red zone. Let's take these 3 points. Let's go to halftime, make the adjustments. We get the ball back. And let's go back to our identity, which is running the ball, taking time of possession, which they ended up losing. I know Big Steve was on with us at the halftime, and he talked about time of possession being huge. Yeah, we were down 11 minutes and 30 seconds on time of possession. That is a quarter, ladies and gentlemen. That's a quarter worth of football because they actually ran the ball, and they held on to it for a while. That was a problem. You look at our third down efficiency. Again, we've been mentioning this the entire season. Third down efficiency is bad. He was 4 for 11. The Bears were 4 for 11. That is not going to cut it in playoff football. Not at all. JC, any other notes you saw?
Yeah, just looking over things, we allowed 311 passing yards, and we allowed, I'm trying to see here, rushing yards, 122. So rushing yards, even though we get gashed in the rushing game because our defensive line can't hold water, the 311 passing yards, that's worrisome because, they nearly 105 yards more than us per se. You go look at, the box score, which again, the box score doesn't tell you everything, but you go look at the Bears box score. Other than Colston Loveland, who did anything for the Bears? How is DJ Moore only getting one reception for 11 yards?
How well we go back? Speaking of DJ, let's go to the interception, JC. What did you see? Because I saw, I understand he got bumped, but I saw a guy just expecting the ball to come to him. Not, I don't know if he knew the guy was over the top or what, but it just looked like it was lackadaisical. The lackadaisical approach at the end of that reception when he gets to the ball, gets to him in the end zone. Yeah, he gets bumped, but then it's just like, that's it. Like, I don't understand. It looked like he wasn't running fully, or he wasn't expecting the ball to begin with.
I mean, I can't speak for that particular play because I don't remember seeing that particular play. But I can speak to this, that when we were in training camp, there were times where, DJ Moore was out there and didn't seem like he was very into a play and, kind of running half routes. And I said at the beginning of the year, like, this is what I'm seeing in training camp. Hopefully this doesn't come to fruition in the season, where it's one of those where it's like, he's putting in half effort, running half speed, all this other stuff where, you go flip on the other side, OZ and some of the other, wide receivers, like they're running full tilt, like they're trying to do like actual reps. DJ was just, out there, half-assing it, if you will. And again, he's a veteran. He's put a lot of time in, and, maybe he feels like, hey, I don't have to, go full tilt at all times, going into year 8, 10, whatever it is for DJ. But, when you have guys that are not putting it all out there, all effort, all the time, especially in practice, sometimes, like I said, when you're not doing your footwork perfectly every time, guess what? Your footwork is going to be off come regular season. In the games, your throwing motion is going to be off. All these things. So when you practice, you have to practice to your full potential all the time. So, again, I was at work. I saw, like I said, like I was in there for a portion of the game and was able to see, like I said, I was in there watching in the break room as I'm sitting there yelling at the screen, right before halftime, take the freaking points, but then, the second half, I didn't really get to see the second half. So, when everything is going down and everything is getting interesting, I didn't get to see that portion of the game.
Did you have an earpiece on?
I'm going to go. I'm sorry.
Did you have an earpiece on to listen?
I did, but it's one of those, like, it was like I put it in for the last quarter because honestly, like being down 13 at halftime, seeing what Ben Johnson did, not taking the points. And then like, the first little bit of the third quarter, I was kind of like, this is going to be a horrible game. Like, and I kind of was just like, you know what? It is what it is. We're in the playoffs either way. And I kind of just went about my day. And, then all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up with all my buddies talking about, oh, it's a comeback and all this stuff. But I literally said early, as soon as we didn't take that field goal, I text my guys in the group chat and basically said, this is going to bite us in the ass at the end of the game because we didn't take the points. And literally come fourth quarter, guess what? Not kicking that field goal. And look, all my guys were like, you hate Cairo Santos. Yes, I do hate Cairo Santos. I'm not the biggest Cairo Santos fan. I have said that for 2 or 3 years now. That, yes, he can, kick a field goal into the wind, chip shot against the Green Bay, where it's like, okay, he can play the wind of, and make kicks. But at the same time, anything over 48 yards, it's like, can he, can't he? And I, you sit there and watch guys like Cam Little freaking kick, 67-yard field goals. And it's like, man, that would be the dream, wouldn't it? Like that you could have a field goal kicker that anytime you cross the 50-yard line, like, okay, we could put 3 points on the board. Like, and that is not Cairo Santos. You literally have to be 30 to 35 yards or you're not making it.
It could be both.
Hey, you know what? Kairos has missed some field goals this year, so we can sit there and talk trash about Baltimore, but at the end of the day, can I get a kicker that can get about 8 to 10 more yards?
We wouldn't want to have Cairo in that situation anyways, because we don't want it. We keep putting ourselves in those situations where we have to come back in the fourth quarter, and we have to rely on Caleb to put on his cape and get us into the red zone and score a couple of touchdowns. Again, he ended up 212 yards. He threw 33 times, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 sack. To that interception that Ivan brought up, it felt like DJ Moore got boxed out. Like, you never played basketball. You have to play until the whistle blows. Whether that is, was it a pass interference? Yeah, you can argue it was pass interference. There was contact before, but at the same time, as a defender, they have an equal right to get to the ball if they're facing the ball.
He was playing the ball. Like, he was clearly playing the ball. His head was up. He ran straight to the spot. He ran through. He bumped him. But again, they're both going after the ball. Right. I just don't think DJ expected the ball. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, where the play was not designed for him, and he was just, I'm running my route, kind of like, and then, oh shit, the ball's coming to me. Oh man, I'm not gonna make it there. And again, when you have 3 targets a game and you're the number 1 wide receiver, maybe that's starting to take a toll on DJ. From being the guy in Carolina, getting 14 or 15 targets, and having over 100 yards a game with Carolina, and now that's diminished with Chicago. Yes, he got paid. He got his contract.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's pull it up, right? Targets for DJ Moore: 85 targets this year, 50 receptions. For your quote-unquote number 1 receiver, is that good enough?
No.
So, like, yeah, why wouldn't he be checked out? I mean, in past seasons, all right, let's look back. Last year, 140 targets. The year before that, 136. The year before that, in Carolina, that was the year that they had a carousel of 4 different quarterbacks. He still had 118 targets. The year before that, 163. Right? So this guy pretty much, ever since coming into the league, except for his rookie year, has never had less than 118 targets. He's at 85.
But that's a Ben Johnson offense. We knew about where Ben Johnson cuts the ball. I mean, it's either you get on the train with Ben Johnson and understand that the ball's going to be moving around, but you also have to block and you have to run your route as if the ball's coming to you. Because you don't know if the play breaks down, he's going to look forward. Because Caleb, when a play breaks down, Caleb looks downfield first. That is his first look. I'm going to throw it as far as I can, get the biggest chunk. And I've always been a big critic about that. He's big game hunting. But in this case, that one's on DJ. That is on DJ for not putting that effort. That is on DJ for not running his route fully. That is on DJ for not fighting for that ball not to be intercepted. That one's on DJ.
I mean, I can't argue it. I just it makes you wonder, like, what happened on that play. I mean, other than the guy making a great play, what happened between the snap and DJ and the end of DJ's route? Like, I gotta see the all 22, but it was a frustrating, because you had the momentum again. You were going to go down, you're going to score, get some points, and then you had plenty of time to get the ball back and what have you. But just a frustrating game overall. It's not the way you want to go into the playoffs. It's just not. It sucks. And I hope they're angry. I hope they're all fucking pissed off.
Well, there's no days off now. There's no days off because you know what? It's win or go home. And,
there's no more making up. There's no more. I mean, you make adjustments after you win, and if you can't win, well, then you're gonna have to make these off-season adjustments. And yeah.
It's gonna be
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, as we've been saying all season, we're playing with house money. Everything. The Bears have improved beyond our imaginations. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that the Bears can beat the Packers this week. And I'm just being honest because we look at our defense. We look at our defense and how horrible.
not the way we're playing. And Olin was on the radio this morning, and he was talking about they don't disguise their defense. He's like, if I am watching this game and I can tell what coverage they're in, what's the defensive scheme, and there's no creativity to make me believe something else, it's going to be a field day. And you've seen that.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis Allen, where's the adjustments from Dennis Allen? Or does he not have the personnel for them to play defense?
Or does he think like there are defensive coordinators out there that think, hey, my play is going to work no matter what, and it doesn't matter if I disguise it, show my hand, anything else. There's an ego check that, and don't get me wrong, Dennis Allen has proven that over the years, he's been a decent coordinator.
Yeah.
However, this is a new NFL. You know what? And I understand that there are quarterbacks out there, such as Justin Fields, such as Mitch Trubisky, such as you name them, Zach Wilson and whoever, that do not understand how to read a defense. And you don't have to disguise the defense.
Mm-mm.
However, there are quarterbacks that do understand defensive schemes, such as Jared Goff, such as, Jordan Love, and they can just sit there and pick you apart all day long. Because, as Ivan has said, the zone cover 2, whatever BS doesn't work.
Man doesn't work either. It's just it doesn't work, JC, because of what you guess it. Guess what I'm going to say. Why doesn't it work?
Personnel.
Yeah, but where?
Safeties.
No. I'm talking about
no.
I'm talking about that pass rush.
There's no pass rush. Yes.
Look,
I'm talking about no pass rush.
Brisker this season get burned by Bo Melton and whoever.
I agree. But if we had a pass rush, some of these balls aren't probably getting off. You know what I mean? Like some of these the passes are being thrown away. You're getting a sack. You're getting you're getting a poor throw because he's being hit. Something like to that effect. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not necessarily just the sack that can dictate the game a little bit defensively. There's just no push. There's just no push.
If
you let the guy run around for 5 seconds, he's gonna end up running away from the cornerback. He's gonna end up getting away from the linebacker. He's gonna end up, you know what I mean? Like I think it always, to me, it starts up front. It starts up front offensively and defensively. And defensively, it hasn't been there. Period.
Yeah, no, I've said all season long that this Grady Jarrett, Javon Dexter, Billings, lineup, it's not working. And unfortunately, the problem is that, okay, Billings is about to become a free agent. We have no salary cap to make a move or change anything. So therefore, we're going to have to go into the draft and get some big bodies and everything else. And now, because we have made the playoffs, we're going to be looking at subpar talent later on in, the rounds to fill these gaps.
Yeah. It's got to be defense for me. And then on top of that, you got to find at least a guy who has that leadership quality to go ahead and lead a turnover of a defense, right? Because, I mean, you got linebackers. I like TJ Edwards. You got some guys out there. Kevin Byard, obviously, is a leader. But I think you need to find these younger guys that can step up and be a leader quickly. That way, other younger guys follow suit, because I feel like they're going to draft a lot of defensive players, and they're going to bring in, some guys too, undrafteds that are young as well. So I would imagine them find a guy that can be I guess be your Mike Singletary, be that leader, be the guy that can control. And I know it's hard to find with young college guys, but do your due diligence enough to find a guy that can take on that role as he grows in his NFL career.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm bringing it up, it's because I bring up this point is that, and again, I don't want to get into looking into, next season already when we still have playoff games to address. However, Tremaine Edmonds can be cut to save a ton of money. You got Kevin Byard, free agent. CJ Gardner-Johnson, free agent. Andrew Billings, free agent. Nashawn Wright, free agent. You go down the list. Simone Biles' husband, free agent.
Mhm.
Like, our defense is going to be gutted next season. And then you go look at like the cap space we have. It's not good. Like, it's one of those where signing Grady Jarrett, signing Deo absolutely crushed us. Those two guys absolutely crushed our salary cap. And the performance we are getting out of them is not good enough at all. It's atrocious.
Oh, I agree. I think Dennis Allen has done an admirable job with what he has. I think he's limited in his play calling as well. But again, it's the personnel out on the field that needs to be upgraded. You pay all this money to Sweat. You give Dexter an extension, and it's just like I don't know at this point why. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point, looking back at it, it's like, why did we do that? Like, why did we, get to that point? I felt like it was almost desperation because he missed on so many draft picks. He had to go ahead and bring people in, and he had to keep, somebody that was at least on the field contributing. Not necessarily in the biggest way, but in Dexter, I part of me feels like Ryan Poles still has that I got to keep my guys type of mentality when it comes to signing and keeping players longer than he has to.
Yeah, look, we're discussing all this stuff, and it's one of those where looking at everything we're looking at. I'm trying to look here really quickly. 2026 Tremaine Edmonds, we can cut him and save $15 million. We would owe him $2.4 million in dead cap. However, to begin the year, Tremaine Edmonds was having a fantastic year.
Mhm.
And it's one of those where honestly, he's 27. Would you extend him? Personally, I would try and extend him and try and move that cap around where we're not taking a $15 million cap hit this coming year. But at the end of the day, if we have to cut him to save $15 million, look, I fully understand it. Like to me, linebackers, not that Penei Sewell or Noah Sewell, I had my complaints about him. There's going to be business decisions that need to be made. I was looking at just today. Where's Cole? Cole Kmet. Oh geez, where is he? There he is. Cole Kmet. We can cut him this coming year and save $8.4 million. We'd owe him 3.2. So is that going to be a business decision? Or do you say, hey, for $5 million, no, $8 million is still a lot of savings when you have a horrible cap situation. So like I said, there's going to be some decisions that the Bears are going to have to make here in 2026, and it's not going to be good because they screwed up. Yeah, as of right now, as the roster sits, we have a cap space unless they expand the cap again in the offseason. we are sitting with a $200,000 team cap space for next year.
That's not good enough. I mean, it's
again, we listed it off. CJ Gardner-Johnson, Brisker, Nahshon Wright, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How are you signing any of those guys with $200,000 in cap space?
Can't do it.
You're gonna either have to cut some guys. Tremaine Edmonds, Cole Kmet are going to be two of the guys because they are the ones that have dead cap money that you can cut them and owe them nothing. Right? You know, Grady Jarrett, dude is going to make 20, or I'm sorry, this is Deo, is going to make $20 million next year. For what? What did that guy show us this year before he got hurt, of course? Do you think he's worth $20.5 million? I don't. This is a guy that is probably worth $8 million to $9 million a year, not 22.
If that, yeah, I mean, yeah, 7 to 9, 10 if a team,
Grady Jarrett. He was fantastic over the years. Great guy, fantastic in Atlanta, right? Do you think what he's done this year is worth him having a cap number of $19 million next year?
No.
And we can't even cut him because if we cut him, we owe him a full $21 million dead cap. So he's on the roster next year.
Oh yeah, that's no doubt. But
so
again,
when you go down the roster, it's like when you sit there and look at like, okay, dead cap savings, where can we save any money? There's two guys. It's Tremaine Edmonds, Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Swift, which honest to God, I think DeAndre Swift is gone.
I think all those guys that you mentioned are gone right now. So
I mean, I'd like to think Jalen is going to stay. I just, because the dead cap money is way more than what you would save. His dead cap would be 18 million. You'd save 7. So you're not going to pay a guy 18 million to not be on your team. Tremaine is completely different. You'd owe him 2.4 million. You'd save 15 million. That's an easy decision unless you extend him. You're going to cut him, pay him 2.4 million, and save yourself $15 million. And of that $15 million, that's where you can pay Nahshon Wright. That's where you can pay some of these other guys. And then the last one is Cole Kmet. Because Cole Kmet, you can cut him, owe him 3.2 million, save 8.4. So between Edmonds, Swift, and Cole Kmet, you'd roughly save about 28 to 32 million between those three players. And in my opinion, DeAndre Swift, he had a great season for us, but not good enough to owe him $8.8 million for next year.
Yeah, I'm okay with being separated with DeAndre Swift. Like I'm fine with that. I'm fine actually with all the players you mentioned. Again, there's going to be tough decisions that need to be made. You know what I mean? Like you could find another tight end. You could find, yourself a linebacker. And in the draft or in free agency with any of those guys, right? Like I would imagine a running back in the draft to get young legs, right? And then, it could be anywhere from the draft or free agency with anybody else. I think they'll go heavy defense, but I would see a running back if one that they like falls to them. But yeah, anybody could get it, right? It's not time to be like, oh, there's my favorite Bear. I love Cole Kmet with the baseball touchdown or the baseball celebration in the end zone and shit like that. And it's like, I get it. You fall in love with your favorite players. You fall in love with the team. But you got to be realistic with how this team needs to be built moving forward. And it has to start with the defense, and it has to start with moving on from some of these players that are commanding contracts that you just can't afford.
Yeah, like I said, you can get to even further down the list, looking at I don't know, Cairo Santos. We're paying him 2.6 million, or we're paying him next year 3.76 million. We can save 2.6 of that. We would owe him 1.1 million to not be on the team. I personally, like, when you sit there and look at some of these kickers that are just picked up off of, like guys like Moody, right? I don't know. I don't remember how much we were paying Moody to be on the practice squad, but I'm pretty sure it was less than we're paying Santos. Let's not even get into what we're paying Kyler Gordon, because the guy's never on the field. We get into some of this stuff where you look over the roster for next year, and it's just a god awful situation that I don't know how Poles is going to pull it off, but I know we're going to be missing some guys. And the bottom line is we don't have enough draft picks to fill the holes, especially because welcome back, Big Z. So I don't know if you heard everything we were saying and everything that was going on. But we're going over some of the situation for next year, because we're talking about the playoff situation, but because we are talking about, we're on house money. We were discussing that the team cap space for next year is $200,000. That is not, that is if the salary cap doesn't go up in the off season. Our cap space is $200,000. And we were discussing how you got guys like Billings and Nashawn Wright, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Brisker, and all these guys who are going to be free agents.
Yeah, it's going to be a shit show when it comes to the cap and all those guys that are going to be free agents. And Ryan Poles has got his work cut out for him in the offseason to fill a lot of gaps on the defensive side. And a lot of it's going to have to come through the draft. And I know everyone's going to be like, oh, trade DJ Moore and just get Max Crosby. It's not that easy. It is just not that easy to match salaries and stuff like that. Ivan needs to go and work on his other show, so you can jump on afterwards on TTNL after you're done watching us. Ivan, thanks for jumping on, and I'll see you Saturday.
Yes, sir. Round 3, baby. Bear down.
Round 3, bear down. Thanks, Ivan.
Is it early? Is it early? No, it's a 7 o'clock
No,
game,
it's
right?
7 p.m.
7 o'clock game, but I knowing you, you'll be there at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I
He'll
can't.
be outside pacing.
Exactly. Yeah, smoking, pacing, sitting outside the window just like a creep. Later, guys.
Later. JC, yeah, I was looking at before I had to jump off abruptly. I ended up getting a nosebleed. It just came out of nowhere, so that's why the wardrobe changed. It literally would not stop bleeding. It looked like, The Shining over here or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's gonna be a problem. You have a lot of high paid players, and starting with DJ Moore. If you can get rid of that $28 million contract, great. But if you're trying to get Max Crosby,
$28 million to catch 50 balls this year.
No,
I'm not.
Well, you can go down the list. 25 million for Montez Sweat. How many sacks does he have? Not enough. Right? We can keep going down the list.
What me and Ivan were focused on were the guys who are getting paid a ton of money who are doing zero to help this team. Grady Jarrett, Deo. We signed Deo to be the edge rusher. Deo, whatever.
Yeah.
We signed him to be the edge rusher across from Sweat. In the games before he got hurt, what did he do to earn a $20.5 million contract?
Nothing.
Per year.
Nothing.
No. Grady Jarrett has come over from Atlanta. We have one of the worst defensive lines in all of football. He's getting paid $19 million.
That's what I'm saying. You've got $40 million there, and if you get DJ Moore another 28, if you can get rid of those 3 contracts, now you cooking with gas. But It's a lot harder than the NFL. It's not
Nobody's gonna
MLB.
take
Where
it.
you just do it. No
You're
one's
gonna
taking
have to
those
trade the player and a pick to get rid of that contract. Like we're gonna have to
Exactly.
pay someone to take that contract. Don't get me wrong. There's teams out there, say like Miami, who need picks. They're gonna go through potentially a full rebuild. And I don't know. Name another team, the Jets or whoever.
Jets,
But again, you're gonna have to give
Browns.
up draft capital. You're gonna have to give up draft capital to get rid of these contracts, and it's one of those where I don't know that it's worth it, because in order to replace those players, you need to have picks. So you can't give away your picks and a player. So we're in cap hell right now.
Yeah, that's why you got to take advantage of any season where you get farther than what you're supposed to, right? I know we went down the line, and I think I have it in my notes, and I think I was maybe 1 or 2 games off. But I did, I had that 10 wins. Okay, they went over. Like we said, we've been saying all season, house money. But here's the thing: the NFL right now, anybody can take this championship. Anybody can have a bad game, right?
Oh,
You looking at Stafford and went over to Carolina.
everybody except Seattle. It seems like Seattle just keeps trucking along.
Yeah. Well, again, they can have one bad game. We can have a couple bounces against Seattle, and we turn it around, right? When we get turnovers, we look like a different team. One thing that I did notice in this past game before we go to break was that the defensive line was not getting there, but their hands were up. They were tipping balls. That they should have been doing that since day one. You can't get to the quarterback. At least put your hands up when they throw the ball. You're 6'5", 6'7", 6'8", and with your length, come on, man. You're a freaking tree. Put your hands up, tip those balls, causes the linebackers and DBs to come over and pick up an interception very easily. Simple things like that, just basic stuff. So, JC, are you coming with us this Saturday, or are you working?
No, I am off Saturday, so I should be there.
Woohoo. This sounds great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. And on the flip side, we're going to do the Madhouse on Madison report. And we'll talk Bulls and Blackhawks very, very, very quickly. There's not much. I know the Bulls are playing right now. I don't know what the score is right now, but we'll get to that and more after the break.
Hey there, Chicago enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your fandom to the next level? The True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast has got you covered with some serious cool merch that screams Chicago pride. From cozy sweaters to trendy tank tops, we got it all. Show off your love for the city with our iconic red, white, and blue logo, or stand out with our exclusive collection for the love of sports. Whether you're lounging at home, breaking a sweat at the gym, or cheering on your team at a game, our gear is a must-have for all you diehard Chicago sports fans out there. Don't hesitate. Visit bonfire.com/store/606-media-store/, or simply just click the link in the description and snag your gear ASAP. Get ready to make some noise, show your pride, and embrace the Chicago spirit with True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast merch. Designed for you, the ultimate fan, for the love of sports. Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to No War on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with Big Z in the house. We got JC, Dynasty's Fantasy Football. Special thanks to Ivan for joining us. He's busy doing a lot of things. But yeah, it's the Madhouse on Madison report, and right now the Bulls are getting beat up by the Boston Celtics. 4 minutes left in this game, down 14. Not enough. Oh, I'm sorry, they're down 11 now, but not enough. But there's been some flashes of good things to talk about with the Bulls, specifically Giddey being consistent. I know he's hurt right now, but you have Buzelis showing out and dunking on people, just highlight dunk every single game. But they're a 500 team. We can't. We say this every week. They're a playing game. They're not good. They're not good, and they should trade everybody. But we don't watch much Bulls basketball. We don't watch CHSN. I don't have it. I know JC doesn't have it, or not has the time to watch Bulls games. But the Bulls are just meh, meh.
Yeah,
And,
I'm sorry. I'm not paying a subscription fee to watch a 500 team and a
no.
team that should just be blown up and go from there. We discussed last week, that we would maybe come in this week and discuss, what would you take for players? So do you
mean
want to have
picks?
that conversation this week?
Yeah, let's do that. I would say just give
All
me
right.
picks for everybody.
Yeah. But what would you ask in, say, like, return for Kobe White?
Kobe White, that would be a late. I would say that's a first and a second. You get and
Okay.
you're taking back a bad contract with that though.
Okay.
You're
Would
taking-
you, so like what, after, like, say, pick 12?
Yeah, it would probably be after
12 and later?
12 and later. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking at teams that are good that need a shooting guard. So if I look at the standings, the Knicks can always use another shooting guard. They love that. Who else? The Celtics can, definitely would love him on the perimeter. The 76ers could use the help. Let's see who else. Let me look on the Western Conference. The Thunder are good. The Spurs would be somebody that could use them, but they won't make that trade because they don't make stupid trades. The Lakers need a lot of help. LeBron keeps crying he needs more superstars. But can you imagine with, Luka over there and him dishing out dimes to Kobe White on the 3-point line where Kobe just has to shoot threes? That can work there. Or even with Jokic in Denver, or with the Rockets. The Rockets have a lot of perimeter shooting. I mean, there's a lot of teams that can use him. The Warriors are depleted. I don't know if they would give up any draft capital for that. But other than that, like, if you're looking at the bottom of the barrel, like, there's all these other teams that are in the same boat as we are or worse. They're not going to do that. But definitely a late first round and a second.
Yeah, you would have to go to these teams that are, potential playoff and serious playoff contenders, not just, we're going to make it to the playoffs and get bounced like the Bulls do every year.
Yeah.
I would assume it's a team that feels they legit have an opportunity. So, all right. So again, Kobe, we're looking at, say, pick 12 through, 18.
Yeah.
And a second. All right.
Yeah.
I can deal with that. All right. Vucevic.
2 seconds. That's it. He's got an expiring contract. He's a guy that's going to help out a contender. He probably will be coming off the bench at this point if he's on a contending team. He's not a great defender, but you can run the offense through him. He can't, if he's engaged, he can supply a double-double on a nightly basis. He's a locker room leader. As you've seen, he's been getting pissed off because the guys have been dunking in the closing moments. We'll see what happens in this game. If someone dunks in the last 30 seconds after they're already beating the Bulls, he might lose his shit today. But again, I would say just 2 future seconds. Just, something for something.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm sitting here. I'm just looking through. Like, because you got the Timberwolves, the Suns, the Warriors, Trailblazers. Okay. All right.
I mean, again, I think the Lakers would be a perfect fit for him. They're not a defensive team. They're a running gun team. If he wants to,
because obviously Spurs don't need him. Rockets.
I mean, if you can entice the Thunder to give you 2 future seconds, they have a plethora of draft picks and draft capital that they don't need because they have enough guys on their team that are going to stick with their team, their core. So now they have draft capital if they want to get a future superstar later on and use some of those first round picks. But those second round picks, I'm pretty sure they'll give them away like hot chips. So, the Rockets can use them as well. Again, somebody it has to be in a West Coast team because that running gun kind of style kind of fits him, so he can hang around the 3-point line because he's not a great rebounder if he's not engaged, and if he plays a good a real big, he disappears. When he plays, Joker or Luka, or
Yeah, I was gonna say the
what's
Nuggets don't need him. The Spurs don't need him.
I mean, as a backup, you can use him as a backup on an expiring contract to get that playoff push. He comes in with the second team. He can run the offense. The offense can run through him, and it'll be a great, easy transition. So, it's a low risk, high reward for a playoff contending team to get Vooch, and you're just giving up 2 future seconds. It's a no brainer.
Yeah. Okay. From there we go to say oh my goodness. I want to say Deo,
Ayo?
but I know
Ayo.
Sorry.
Actually,
I've been talking about Deo with the Bears for so long.
Yeah.
That I wanted
just
to call him Deo.
Just rearrange a couple letters, right?
Yeah.
I want to keep Ayo. I want to keep
Okay.
Ayo. I know his contract is coming up as well, but I would like to keep Ayo. I feel like he hasn't got to his full potential. I think that because he's been blocked by so many guys like Zach and Kobe, and then we had Lonzo. He's been blocked on the second tier, on the second team for such a long time. If you put him out there as a shooting guard along with Giddey and Buzelis, now you got 3 guys that can run pretty much a point guard, point forward. With those 3 guys, they can all shoot. Ayo can ball handle. Ball handle is getting better. That's the thing. He needs to want it. He needs to put in the work, because right now he's behind Trey Jones. Trey Jones is starting. Trey Jones is a veteran that knows how to play in a system. But again, for me, Ayo's a keeper. But if you need to trade him, and I think his contract is up as well, you're probably not going to get no more than 1 second for him.
Yeah, I believe Ayo is up this offseason. That's why I mentioned him.
Yeah.
And then last guy for me, who's an interesting one, because he's not the most coveted player on our team, but
Nope.
Hoyter.
Oh, Hooter. Actually, no, he's a shooting guard. He's been playing injured. I think he had a hand injury. He's a great addition for a veteran team.
Right.
You're probably going to take back, I don't know what his contract status is. Let's see. His contract status is where's his contract? Well, what is he at? 30 games. He's averaging 12 points. Yeah, they can use that. 6'6" guard. I mean, again,
he's not the most coveted player on our team, but it's one of those where it's like a team that is looking for playoff, like a 6th man. I think he could be a very good 6th man.
He's making $18 million. He's making $18 million, and if his contract is up as well, I don't have the contract status right here in front of me, but his contract might be up as well.
Let me give me 2 seconds and I'll have it pulled up.
Yeah, give me contract. There we go. Sport Track. Here we go.
25-26. Yep, unrestricted free agent next year.
Next year,
UFA next 26-27.
Okay, so an extra year of control, you probably get more. Again, for me, in my opinion,
after this year, we have him this year, and then he's a UFA.
Oh, so his contract is up. He's an unrestricted free agent. So
he's a UFA for 26-27.
Again, if you can pluck some young talent off another team, if they're not going to give you draft picks, some young talent off another team, a guy that's sitting at the end of the bench that's not getting time on a contender, fine. Or you can put these guys in a package and get Kuminga. And again, and I hate saying that's been like the rumor all year, but it's like we're getting the same type of player over and over and over, and not filling the depth chart to complement each other. And that's why right now, like, I know we're playing pretend GM, and I don't have all this facts in front of me to I know you have to match salaries and stuff like that when it comes to NBA trades. You're giving, again, this is a guy that can shoot when he's healthy. He's a great locker room dude. He's been playing for the Hawks. He played I think he played for San Antonio or whatever. you're probably going to get a second
so-
and a contract back. Like, there's nobody
So
here
here we
that's
go
gonna
down.
be- Yeah, go ahead.
Here we go down the Bulls roster, right? So Vucevic, UFA next year, right?
Yep.
Zach Collins, UFA. Hooter or Hoarder or Kevin, who we've just been talking about, UFA next year. Kobe White, UFA. Io, UFA. Javon Carter, UFA. Then we go into
Haywood's best, Javon
Julian
Carter.
Terry, Julian Phillips, Ulbrich, Miller, and Flowers are all RFAs.
Restricted free agents. So so we can.
So we have restricted free agents. But again, those guys are, Dalen Terry is 5.3 million, Julian Phillips 2.2, Ulbrich 2-way, Emmanuel Miller 2-way, Trenton Flowers 2-way. So it's one of those
Flowers,
those guys are at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, those guys are at the bottom of the barrel. Again, you're looking at Noah Nsenge, who was our draft pick or our project. He ended up getting hurt. I know he's been playing with the Windy City Bulls. Ulbrich is also and Flowers, two-way players that go back and forth, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're keeping Giddey, keeping Matas, you're keeping Okoro, and again, we have a lot of shooting guards, and that's the problem. We have a lot of the same thing over and over. You're looking at Giddey's a point guard. Buzella's, he's playing small forward, but he's a shooting guard. Kobe White, shooting guard. Io, shooting guard. Hooter, shooting guard. Okoro, shooting guard. Like, how many shooting guards do you need and don't have the depth? Like, we don't have rebounding. Jalen Smith has been doing a little bit better. Patrick Williams, bust. Complete bust. Like, you're going to have to give away stuff to get or put him in a package. Zach Collins, again, another guy that's been hurt back and forth, can be used on a contender. Javon Carter, I feel sorry for the guy because he's only getting used in blowout time. And he's a really good dude and a good locker room leader and can play if he's giving consistent minutes, but he's not giving consistent minutes. And I know he's probably towards the end of his career. What am I looking at? How many years has he been playing? He's averaging 6.2 for the season. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years with the Bulls already. I'm sorry, those are 5 games. 1, 2, 3 years with the Bulls. Then Milwaukee for 2. He was in Brooklyn, and then two-way player, and then Phoenix and Memphis before that. So he's been playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years now. Okay. There's no one besides Gideon and Buzelis that's untouchable. Everyone else should be traded for something, get some assets. You're going to have to blow this up and be able to draft quickly and sign some free agents.
Yeah, because I mean 25-26 cap space is 24 million. It looks like.
Yeah, and they can use the mid-level exception and stuff like that.
But I mean, 24 million, listen, when you're losing Vooch, Collins, Kobe, Kevin Hoyter, Io, like those are some of your starting players.
Yes,
how are you going to replace them with 24 million?
You're not going to be able to. And they did that to themselves. And again, I don't trust this regime to fix it. It's just going to get worse and worse for the Chicago Bulls. Like, we wasted a lot of good years for Vooch on a couple of teams that got hurt, with we had Zach and we had DeMar and we had Lonzo and, all these guys are getting hurt back and forth. And Vooch was a double-double machine. But they stopped using him in the offense to run the offense through him. And it's starting to show because, Billy wants to do run and gun. Okay, that's great. You do run and gun all you want. But when it comes to playoff time, if you can't play half-court offense and be able to stop people on half-court as well, it's not going to be well. It's not going to end well for the Chicago Bulls. So I don't know what they're going to do. there's a lot of movement that's going to happen. You're going to see half of these faces are going to be gone. And the Bulls are going to be stuck with the bag holding Patrick Williams' money because no one's taking that contract. For a guy.
That's the anchor that sinks the Bulls.
Yeah.
It is, you know what? I don't understand. Because we saw what Patrick Williams was for 2 or 3 years. He was not the guy. So,
Nope.
And again, I understand I'm not in the gym every day. I'm not seeing the effort that the guy is putting in the gym. But from what I saw of gameplay, what did these guys see to offer this guy $18 million a year?
They get scared to lose the guys they draft. And again, if you're not developing them and then you're going to overpay for potential again, no, I'd rather you overpay for someone who gives you production. And saw what Patrick Williams does. They're like, oh, but he was injured all those years. Okay, isn't that a red flag that he's injured every year and he can't produce? Yeah, but he had that 19 point game when he shot 5 for 5 from 3 or what, Stop hinging on 1 or 2 games. All right, it's the NBA, so everybody goes off. Stop hinging on 1 or 2 games on these projects. He was a project. He was a 6th man in college. And you projected him to be a starting power forward who doesn't rebound, can't shoot well. Oh, he looks like Kawhi Leonard. He's got huge hands. Is that what we're gonna gauge NBA players on? If they have huge hands, I think they all have huge hands because they're NBA players. I don't know. It's a struggle. It's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch the Chicago Bulls. The final was 101-115. Not great. Not great at all.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we keep guys like Patrick Williams, and then you let guys such as, I don't know, Bobby Porter leave, go to Milwaukee, wins a championship. Who was the was it Markkanen?
Yeah, Laurie Markkanen. Larry
leaves and becomes a superstar.
Yeah, I think he struggled there lately. I mean, let me pull his.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's one of those where it's like, but yet we signed Patrick Williams. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is why, like, when it comes to the Bulls, it's just like I sit here and go, basically like you, like I have no faith whatsoever. To me, like the whole front office needs to be gone.
Yes, ASAP.
I understand we got Josh Giddey in a trade, but other than Giddey, like we were offered a first for Lonzo at one point. Dude, that guy would have been gone. A first, see ya. Like, yep. I would not have hesitated to pull that trigger. And here we are, and now it's like, no, dude. Like, what are we talking about? He was an aging player who we had on an okay contract. I wouldn't say it was fantastic or great, but it's like Vucevic. If we're going to lose him anyway in free agency, get what you can.
Yes.
Send him, like, again, hey, man, we thank you for your service. We're going to do the best we can to send you to a playoff team so that you can potentially, have a chance at winning a championship. Thank you for your service. We'll take the first.
And again, it should have been done a year before their contract is about to expire. You need to make a decision. Is this a person we can build in the future? No, they're aging out. They're decreasing in production. Okay, take the New England Bill Belichick approach. Get rid of them a year early and get what you can for them and replenish your system. Larry Markkanen's averaging 27 points, 27.9, 6.9 rebounds, 2.1 assists, shooting run their 50% as a center. I know he's marked as a center, but he plays, forward. Yeah. Do you think the Bulls can use that?
Yeah.
They're frustrating. Moving on to the other team at the Madhouse, the Blackhawks. They've been playing pretty well. Being down a couple guys. I was there on Thursday, got that W. they've been playing pretty good. They just beat the Vegas Knights 3-2 yesterday. Before that, they beat the Capitals 3-2. They beat the Stars 4-3. They did lose to the Islanders 3-2. Besides that, last week where we talked about the 7-3 Penguins thrashing, they've been playing a lot better with a lot of guys who are injured. Obviously, Bedard still not back. They have a lot of injuries. But are we still building?
Like we're third in the league right now from the bottom.
It
Looks like
that
it's
way.
Jets, Canucks, then us.
Jets, Canucks, and us. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
But I mean, that said, as we've been saying for the past week, Bazard, Nazar, these guys missing, it's going to crush your team because Bedard was, we went over this
90% of the
not so long
scoring.
ago. Yeah, like he was like 40 points. The next closest guy was 19.
Yeah.
So to be missing Bedard is a huge hit to our team. And as we also stated, we're all for it. Hey, if we can get another top 3 pick and put some more talent, if we can keep picking in that top 5, by all means, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, Connor Bedard is expected to be back before the Olympic break. Scott Powers reported that from The Athletic. Frank Nazar is still on injured reserve. Shea Weber on injured reserve. Those are your injuries right now, according to ESPN. So, hey man, it's just like an NFL team. If your star quarterback goes down, obviously there's going to be huge letdown in talent when it comes to trying to win games with your backup. All right. So right now, what the Blackhawks can do is get these guys who are second, third line guys more playing time, get them more confident playing together, and get that experience. So that way, when Bedard gets back, they can win a couple more games and get that experience of camaraderie and gelling together. But again, this is another year of let's see what we have on the roster. Let's build to their future. And next year they have to go gangbusters and either with the draft and signing players. You need to sign another defenseman that's going to be an impact player. You need another wing to help out Connor, right? We have, if you have 2 centers out on injured reserve, that hurts your team. That really hurts your team.
Yeah, I mean, sitting here, Bedard has 31 games played. He has 19 goals, 25 assists, and 44 points. The next closest person in points is at 34 now, and they've played 8 more games than Bedard. So, I mean, that just tells you, I mean, how bad, without Bedard, I mean, this team, it's stagnant. But if we can get a top 3 pick, put a big defenseman, put a goal scorer alongside Bedard on this team, you know what? We got to look at the upside of that. And I know that's not what Bedard wants to see because, we've talked about, Bedard is going to be coming up for a contract extension very soon.
Yeah.
And, he wants to see the Blackhawks as a winning team. However, he has to look, when I'm hurt, when I'm not here, what is this team realistically without me? You kind of look at that and then go, no, if we could put a top 3 pick back on the board and get another stud in the upcoming draft, like that just helps me. So not that you want to see, Bedard out for too long, but at the same time, as a franchise, you kind of look at it and go, no, we could really use that top 3 pick to continue to build a young, good, talented team.
Yeah, so he is a restricted free agent after this season. So you're going to have to pay the man because he's been making, what is it?
Peanuts.
Yeah, under a million. 950,000. Yeah.
Which I know
My hat's off to
football
those
salary
guys.
cap. But I couldn't really tell you what, let's see, what is highest paid NHL player?
Maybe 12 or 14 million.
14 million it looks like.
Boom.
So and unfortunately, when we talk about NHL, I think NHL salary cap is what, 88 million?
Yeah. It's under 90 for sure.
Well, this is 24-25, but looks like 88 million. That was 24-25.
Yeah, so it's at that 90. It's at that 90 threshold. It's
So this year, 25-26, the cap went up to 95 million.
okay. Still not enough.
And-
Still not enough.
Nope. And as of right now, the Chicago Blackhawks actually sit with the most salary cap space at 14.8 million for this year. So they still have a ton of cap space. So they could potentially trade for some players before trade deadline with the 14.8 million cap space that they have. So there you go. I mean, you could potentially get some great players in a trade and still have a top 3 pick and add some more talented younger players at a good salary cap savings. So that would be huge for the Blackhawks.
Well, I have more faith in the Blackhawks than I do in the Bulls when it comes to the GM. So for me, I'll reserve my judgment on what the Blackhawks front office is doing, just because I think they're doing a great job on rebuilding this team, and it's going to take some time. And again, it's an awesome product when you go. It's an awesome time to be there.
Although I guess technically, if you have 14.8 million, that might be what they pay Connor Bedard next year, right? So maybe they're saving that salary for next year to pay Connor.
I don't think it carries over like that, but yeah,
No,
that's what
I'm saying, like, it's like they're already planning on, like, hey, let's not spend that 14 million because we're gonna need that to pay Connor.
Yep. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a 7-year, $14 million contract, something like that, with incentives.
Oh, I don't know about that because I think the annual salary for the top NHL player was 14 million.
Oh, top.
So I don't, yeah.
Well, again, but he's not a top player yet. So let's say you pay him 5.
No, yeah, but I mean, still, say you're going to pay him what, somewhere between 10 to 12.
And there goes all your room.
Yeah, there goes all your cap space. But and then, like I said, you got to go look at, and again, I know we're not trying to get into like cap stuff on every team this week, but I mean, you got a lot of, let's see, well, that's next year, but this year, oh yeah, 26, 27. Foligno UFA, Murphy UFA, Dickinson UFA, Milkiev UFA.
They're gonna have a lot of room and a lot of money and a lot of room on their roster. It's gonna be a big turnaround. So
yeah, I mean, going over the roster, looks like really the Blackhawks aren't paying anyone really over 5.5 million. And any one player is not really making more than 5.5 million. So, I mean, Connor might be that guy that gets paid the most on the team. But, again, I don't know, per se, like I said, I know NFL, salary cap, but when it comes to NHL, I'm not very versed. So NHL.
Well,
Yeah, so again, 14 million, 13.2. Connor McDavid is 12.5. McKinnon 12.6.
yeah, I imagine he'll get around that area where it's going to be from 12 to 14 per year.
Yeah, so I mean, it might actually be below the 12.5 million. So again, I would say somewhere probably in the 10 to 12 million, because it looks like, like those are the top four guys. Like the top guy is, and I'm going to butcher the name, but it's Leon. Dress is still from the Oilers. He is the top at 14 million cap hit. Then again, it goes to Austin Matthews with the Maple Leafs, 13.25. Then McKinnon, 12.6. Connor McDavid, 12.5. So those are your top four.
Yeah, Connor McDavid is a monster, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm clicking on top 50. So most of the guys fall. So from 9 to 37 fall from 10 million to 12 million.
Okay.
So like I said, that's I mean you're talking almost 30 players fall between that 12 to 10 million, range. So then you got to look at, do you consider Connor a top 15 player? Then he's making 12 million.
I would say so. I think he's gonna make the 12 million, because he would have made the Olympic team.
Yeah.
Or
like I said, I don't know that Connor is going to be a top 10 player. Like, I don't know he would get top 10 money, but I could say top 15. I think he's in the top 15 players in the NHL. And like I said, that would put him at roughly about 12 million.
Well, the Blackhawks are going to have a lot to deal with this offseason by signing your number one pick and drafting very well, and then supplementing the roster that's going to be turning over with some players that Connor can win with in the future going forward. So, Blackhawks, y'all got to start doing your homework and do very well with it. And I can't wait, because I've been to more Blackhawks games this year than Bulls games.
Well, I mean, I really haven't looked up the what is the cost of Blackhawks tickets going for nowadays?
I don't know.
The Bulls and Blackhawks, like, no matter what, like it's one of those where it's like it's a fun activity in Chicago during the winter.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what it is. It's one of those where the tickets never go down in price, really. Like, they're usually about what, $80 a ticket, somewhere in there to $150 a ticket. Just because, Chicago in the winter, not a whole lot to do. Chicago in the summer, it's a vibe. Chicago in the winter, it's like you got, sports and
all indoor activities there.
Yep. So, like I said, I haven't really looked to see what tickets are going for these days, but I mean, yeah, I 100%, like I would much rather watch a hockey game than an NBA game these days. We've talked about that. I do not enjoy the NBA game of this, century, the last 10, 12 years of NBA have not been my favorite. So much rather catch a Blackhawks game.
Anytime, any day. All right, JC, I think it might be that time to go eat dinner and do the rest of your chores. Tomorrow's my first day back with the kids. Today was just, setting up everything. And, I had that crazy nosebleed about 30 minutes ago. So, yeah, that was nuts. I ruined the shirt.
I just want to throw one more thing out.
Go for it.
Can the Cubs stop sitting on their hands already? Jesus.
Just blame it on Steven.
Oh my God. Look, Steven's a mush to begin with. And what? I hope he's listening. Steven, you're a mush. You ruin everything with the Cubs. But I mean, oh my God, like, you sit here and it's like, okay, we must be waiting on Amaya. to figure out like where he's going to pitch at. He goes somewhere else. All right. Then it's like, then you hear that we're talking to Bellinger again. And then it's like, the Bichette, it's like, what are we doing? Where are we? I'm so lost anymore. Like, I don't understand what we're doing.
You know what you're doing? You're gonna be cashing that check from MLB, and you're gonna be raking all that money in from Wrigleyville as everyone goes to a Cubs game for them to be
mediocre.
I would say 89 wins. They're not. I don't think they're 90.
Again, I could also see it where the Cubs, because we keep talking about there potentially may be a lockout coming.
Yep.
So maybe they're looking not to spend money until they know what's going on with the lockout.
You don't pay anybody when you're locking them out.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be implications from the lockout with salary cap stuff, with, payroll, with everything else, because I foresee this lockout. Like there's going to be some major stuff going on with what the Dodgers are doing with all the deferred salaries and everything else. I can see that all being addressed and being worked on. So, because let's be honest. If the Dodgers keep signing everybody, then what's the point? Like, no team is going to be able to compete.
Yeah, you can go sign somebody. Don't bitch about the team that's trying to win. Have your team trying to do the same. You're playing under the same rules. So I don't want to hear about the Dodgers because the Cubs can do it. The Yankees could do it. All the
White Sox can do it. Are the White Sox doing it?
No, the White Sox have been cheap the entire time. We're talking about big market teams. The Cubs can spend money. They got money coming in.
Could you imagine what the market would be for the Cubs if the White Sox were like anywhere else in the United States? Like if the Cubs got all of Chicago.
What they already do, they got about 85%, right, of the fan base of Chicago. 85%.
What would they be if they had 100%?
What difference would it make? The beer garden's full every damn game, anyways. Friday at 120, it's jam packed. It don't matter.
I'm just talking shit.
No, you make all this money, spend it. Spend it on the product. Reward your fans.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Like, unfortunately, I'm not a Sox fan, and I hate the White Sox. But you guys have a better looking outlook right now, in my opinion, than the Cubs.
Yep,
and I hate it because you guys got the number one pick, and you have young players who are getting paid nothing. Mm-hmm. And they put up how many wins last year?
60.
Yeah, 60 wins with like zero salary.
And I think they were top 5 in offense in the second half. And they, pitching was peacemake together. So and we got pitching prospects coming up. Like it's going to be a fun season. I see 65 to 68 wins for the White Sox. Hey, it's fun to watch these kids grow up and play. I think they're doing it the right way for once. After next season, after the lockout, I can see them spending money. I can see when the new owner takes over. I know it's supposed to be 2031, if I remember correctly. But, let's say the old man dies and the new owner comes in and says, all right, bro, time to put up or shut up, and let's put some veterans around these young guys to get some winning culture here. I'm with it, man.
Yeah, I still don't, I understand that they want to get a new baseball field and everything else.
No, they shouldn't. They don't need it.
I was going to say, their stadium was built. When was Guarantee Rate built?
93.
Like, that's not that old.
It's not. It's a great facility. It's not falling apart.
The only problem to me is the location.
Oh, God.
On the south side.
Is nothing.
And I say that not disparagingly, but I guess they do have the train stop there, and they do have the parking lots and everything else. But I went to a game, I don't know, what was it, like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was just like to get into the stadium, and I don't know if it was just that particular game. Like, dude, it almost took us like 2 innings just to get in.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they definitely need to upgrade that. And that goes for the United Center as well. Whatever the Cubs system is that they have for as you walk in, you don't. use that 21st century security system. Please use that. The old school metal detectors like you had in high school, that needs to go away, man. That takes forever. And I completely agree with you. If it's one of those popular games or a game where they're giving away a bobblehead and, people are waiting 2 hours ahead of time in line.
But it's it's like a cattle, where it's like you just go back and it's like freaking being at Six Flags where it's just like a back and forth, walking through these like sanctions, and it's just like, dude, can you just let me in? Like, can you open up another like 5 or 6 metal detectors and like get us in?
Well, there's no room. There's no more room. You're looking at all the gates. There's not much room. They just need a better system. They just need that better system where that it scans you as you walk in. You don't have to go through beep, oh my watch, beep, oh my belt.
Well, that's also just stupid fans that
Oh,
Jesus, you're going to a game, dude. Don't carry a pocket knife, all right?
Yeah,
Although you might need to carry a pocket knife where you're going.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Stop it. Stop it.
Desk pops in the field. Yeah.
Stupid. All right. On that note, let's get out of here. Thank you, everybody. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you to everybody at Casa Humilde who subscribed. And if you're watching, thanks a lot. We'll be there this Saturday. Game's at 7:20, so I'll probably be there at 5 to set everything up. So meet us at Casa Humilde, 7700 Madison in Forest Park. We'll be there at 5 o'clock. Great food, great drinks, and you have us there. And then we'll thank our sponsor, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans. Check us out on social media, True Chicago Sports Fans, TCSF Pod on Twitter. For Ivan and JC, I am Big Z. We'll see you next time for episode 282. If not, we'll see you on Saturday. Go Bears. And Fernando.
Go Bears.
For the love of sports.